Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed. Hey family, welcome to another episode of King Simon Presents Only All Quality People. As you know, I am a veteran broadcaster back in the day from WWRL Radio 1600 AM. So you know how we do. We keep things flowing, we keep things moving, and we do what we have to do to make things happen. Of course, family, just want to remind everybody that this is a business, so make sure you support the business. Spiritual business, but it is a business, of course. And always remember to spread love by the super chat, super sticker, PayPal, Zelle, and all of the extremities like Cash App and also Venmo. You could do that. And of course, you know, I have started to give away free stuff in the beginning of my show. I'm sorry for coming up a little late. Y'all know I usually run my broadcast and start off early before I come up. But let me give away a free book again to all those people and all those beautiful women that are going through any type of hormonal imbalances. I'm going to put this in the link and you can actually go and support Dr. McCabe Judge. Big up to Dr. McCabe Judge. Her father actually trained with one of my old teachers, Master Duncan. So big up to her father, who's doing great work. But Dr. McCabe Judge has a great free copy of her book for women that helps with hormonal imbalances and also its connection to anxiety. So make sure you support my sister. It's in the chat right now. If you really want to get it, the website is called EdenIntegrative.org. That's EdenIntegrative.org. Make sure you show her some love. It's a free copy. Once you go to our website, you get the free copy. You go ahead and start helping out sisters or brothers that have beautiful women that they want to help out with the hormonal imbalances and their anxiety problems. She's a great doctor. She's an acupuncturist, and she does what she has to do for our community in many ways. That's why she's even giving away free products. You know what I'm saying? So before we move on, I just want to remind everybody that today we're going to have a special guest from a system that I've trained since 1989, 1990, in and out of that system all the time and being quite familiar and very close to a lot of the practitioners. And this great warrior, I remember seeing him in Brooklyn and different places. So we're going to be having him coming up in the next few minutes. Just want to make sure we shout out what's coming up. Don't forget, this coming Tuesday, we have our brother Black Dot. That's right, the brother Black Dot, the author himself, today's consciousness in the conscious community, what happened and how can we change it and heal it? Also, coming up on the 15th of this particular month, let me go to this thing, because on June the 10th, this particular first part of my series, The Anatomy of Numerovation, will be uploaded to my Patreon. So please make sure y'all go to my Patreon page. That's patreon.com/King Simon Production. And the first installment is going to be called the sacred connection between numbers and humans. The sacred connection between numbers and humans. I'm going to be breaking that down in the Patreon only. It's only going to be in the Patreon. I might upload it to my membership probably a month later. So make sure y'all get it in and do what you have to do live and direct. And also don't forget on the 15th in New York City, my brother, one of our favorite, one of our familiar practitioners in martial arts, also is having a big event. The one, the only Soke Hassan Khalik is having a big event on June the 14th to June 15th in New York City. Make sure y'all support my brother and what he does. A very good scientist and practitioner doing what he got to do. Of course, he always shows love to Dr. Moses Powell and all of the great ones before him. And of course, want to remind you, because I'm going to Brooklyn, boom, we'll be at the LIU with Brother Shabazz. Professor Oliver will be there. Professor Diane gonna be there. They always in the picture, so I can't wait to see them. But also Black Dot, Tafira Azar, Adika Butler, myself, Paris Williams will be opening for me, and also Baba Ifa Kunle, the Babalao of Harlem. And of course, I got a big up coming up on the 28th. My brother that we're going to be having on in the next few minutes, Professor Walter Evans, is having something big on June the 28th in Florida. That's right. So make sure you call that number 727-641-0127. It's going to be a martial arts seminar and awards banquet with some great people. That's going to be powerhouse. Matter of fact, I'm going to pin his link to the seminar at the top of the page on the top of the chat. Let me put it in the top of the chat. So those that are in Florida, I think it's around Clearwater, Florida, and those areas. So if you're in those areas of Clearwater, Florida, you know what it is. Make sure you support. I'm going to pin it at the top of the chat right now. So, hey, if you're into martial arts and getting into the discipline and you want to be a spectator or you want to be on the mat learning, oh, there's going to be some great people over there. Again, it's in the chat right now. I will pin it to the top of the chat just in case y'all need during this whole show. Y'all could just go there and get your tickets right now, and we'll make that happen. One more person I got to big up, the one, the only Lloyd Strayhorn. My brother, Lloyd Strayhorn, ancient of days. My brother, Lloyd-Strayhorn.com. He's been on Oprah. He's been on Katie Kirk. He's been on all the major channels back in the day, and also still doing great work now. The world-renowned astronumerologist and palmist, the one, the only Lloyd Strayhorn. So, with all that being said, family, this is very important because while being in the Nation of Islam and various other places, and also being introduced to the martial arts from when I was young, through Bruce Lee, of course, and Jim Kelly and all these great brothers, and Ron Van Cleef, the great Ron Van Cleef, who wrote me a letter one time, man, in his book. I'm so proud to have on a lot of these practitioners that do come. I've had Professor Zahalia, who I love immensely. What a beautiful soul she is. She's helped me out in so many ways in private conversations. So, and of course, a lot of the youngsters from out of this particular system that I so enjoy. And although I never been on the mat with Dr. Powell, he was always in conversation with me because I was a promoter and a singer and a producer. So he'll show me some things, but I've never, because you had to be black belt certain times to get on that mat. But, Professor GM Anthony, I was definitely on the mat with him. Soke Lil John, definitely on the mat with Professor Bill, Soke Osei, and all these great ones. I've been on the mat. He also met Professor V. Man, and that was something else. My goodness. Just so elegant. So the brother that we're about to bring on, man, great brother. Seen him in and out of the world, of course. And Professor Walter Evans is the founder of Shihan School of Survival in Florida. Originally from New York City, Walter Evans holds a title Shihan, but now professor, meaning master teacher. Evans started his martial arts training in 1969, man, 2 years after I was born, where he earned the rank of green belt with Taekwondo instructor Atahi Lee, ninth degree black belt from Korea. And in 1971, he was introduced to the late great Chief Supreme Master Dr. Moses Powell, Soke Lil John, still alive with us, and finally, their instructor, the late great Grand Chief Supreme Professor Florendo M, Visitation, or Professor V, affectionately known by his student. Let's welcome on the platform for the first time my dear brother, your dear brother, the one, the only, Professor Evans in the building. How you doing, sir? Let me give you a round of applause. Let me get my applause button so we can make it happen. There you go. There you go. There you go. How you doing, beloved?
I'm great, beloved. Thank you for having me this morning or this afternoon.
Assalamu alaikum, my brother.
Alaikum salam.
Yes, sir. This is the soldiers, bro. See, I got the messenger shirt on. You know what?
I see that. All praises due.
I got the star and crescent. That's what we doing.
We doing it. We doing it.
How you been, brother? How's the family?
Family is fine. Thank you for asking.
Of course.
And everything's going pretty well. Pretty well.
You know, I want to remind everybody the links are pinned to the top. If you want to go to the seminar, of course, his contact number is 727-641-0127. And his email is shihanwalter@yahoo.com to contact him via email. If you're an email buff, you know that's what it is. And if you want to donate to a school, let me tell you, I'm going to show his website, but he's been helping children to get over their fear and to become courageous for so many years, as I've been going through his bio and everything and all the certificates and accolades. But to me, you know, Professor Walters sometimes is a unsung hero, because a lot of he's always in the background, which is crazy. You know, sometimes he's like the spook who sat by the door. You know, just be you remember that movie, sir?
That's right.
Yeah. Sometimes you're like the spook who sat by the door, and I'm honored to have you on. You know, in your journey of martial arts, and of course, this is going to help a lot of people. What was it that encouraged you back in 1969? That was the year my first sister was born. What was that journey like back in those days for you to decide to get into Taekwondo and then eventually get into Jiu-Jitsu and all the rest of them, Sunukus rule? What made you get into it? What was happening around that time that Professor Walter said, I'm going to do this?
Great question. And actually, I had an interest for martial arts a few years before 1969. You know, my mother, my grandmother, they both were barmaids in Harlem.
Wow.
They Sugar Ray Robinson's bar they worked at, and a few other historical bars in Harlem.
Right.
You know, they were light-skinned, pretty women, always trying to look fly and everything.
Right.
So they get hit on a lot.
Yeah, of course.
I can imagine.
Yes.
And my Uncle Jesse, was a Korean War veteran. And so he came home and I would hear stories how he would, you know, knock out or beat up people who were harassing them. And I'd say, wow, he really did that. You know, he said, yeah, he fought 2 guys the other day. And knocked them out. And so me not having a father, knowing my father at all, I wanted to be like him. I wanted to be like him. I wanted to be a warrior. I wanted to be a protector. And back in those days, she told me that he studied some judo. She called it judo, but actually it was karate. And I wanted to learn that stuff. So I had no avenues to go to, you know, at 8, 9 years old. So, but every chance I got, I would pick up a magazine and I'd read it. And I would practice the stances, and you know how it goes when you're trying to educate yourself. So I got kind of good, at least I thought, you know, self-trained. But my grandfather lived in New Haven, Connecticut, around the Yale University area. And so that was my first connection to martial art. I would sneak into the gym, Payne and Whitney gym, and I'd watch the judo classes going on. But somehow the judo wasn't my kind of thing. So I was going down Broadway on that same area, and there was a karate sign. I went upstairs, and lo and behold, it was, the teacher, Atahi Lee from Korea, basically straight here, could not speak straight English. And so I'd watch a couple of times, and until he says, "Would you like to join us?" And so that's how I started my journey in martial arts, my technical and traditional journey into martial arts. And what else encouraged me was I had my dojo brother, George Logan, who's from Connecticut, you know, was on the other side of the room where it was partitioned off, but they were doing judo.
Mm.
So yes, I had introduction to judo. I never went over there because, like I said, I like karate. That was my thing, karate.
Right.
So I'd see him and I'd wave and I said, "Okay, good job." But I'm over here kicking and punching. Yeah, so that's how, so I stayed with Atahi Lee till I got the rank of green belt. And and he did not ask for a lot of payment, but my grandfather lived up there, so I bring some money every now and then and give to him.
I'm proud of the journey, what you just said, especially from because you didn't know your father. And a lot of us, my father was in and out of my life, and I understand. And he's a former Marine and all that kind of stuff. And, I used to hear stories about him and his fighting prowess back in the day, but I didn't, I never really got to experience, but, me and him are good friends as of now. And then, what would you say to young brothers and sisters that may not have a father? Because, sometimes life be lifing, and our fathers go through their stuff just like their mothers, but it's just that the mothers have to keep the children because that's law. That's also law too. That's also in the law that it is what.
Yeah.
But what do you say to young people? Because you train a lot of young people in your history. What do you say to young men and young girls that may have lost their father or their father's not around in a more encouraging way to accept the martial arts and what they're doing and what to do in it, and to help them, be more courageous and realize that, things happen in life and to forgive or let go? How do you encourage your young people that you train?
Well, whether they're doing good or not, because it works both ways, I tell them that, if you don't have a father, find a mentor, someone you look up to and learn the best things that he has to offer. Right. And it doesn't have to be one person. So every male that you meet, learn something from them, because you're your own man now. You run the house. And that's what I tell them. Take care of the house when they're leaving, So I try to encourage them to grow up knowing that they are head of the household now, replacing their father, and I tell them, I said, I didn't have a father growing up. So I picked a mentor. I had a mentor. And I learned what I could. And actually, my mentor was the martial arts instructors that I had.
Right, of course.
Lil John Davis, and Dr. Moses Powell, I looked up to like he was God, I said, "He's the God." But Lil John is my brother. He's my brother, and I could train, get good, get beat up by him and things. But I always had, a desire to, get with Doc and train with Doc too. But then that all happened in due time. So, but yeah, and find an instructor. That's what I tell them. Find someone, regardless what are they doing, washing cars. If he's a good, honest, hardworking man, learn what you can from different men and build your own character.
Right. Now, and that's powerful. Family, that's just tuning in to my show, not just on Facebook, but we're on YouTube and we're on Instagram, broadcasting on 3 different platforms right now. We have our great Professor Walter Evans, great brother, founder of Shihan School of Survival, well trained in Taekwondo, trained in Sanukas-Ryu Jiu-Jitsu, Vijitsu, Kumite-Ryu, of course, under the one, the only Soke Lil John, who's a devastating fighter back in his day. And we know he's been a devastating fighter because I've seen the tapes and watched him, and I want to go there because, I talk to a lot of the elders in the system, especially people like Professor Bill and, people like Khalik and Soke Hassan. And of course, I spoke to Master Duncan back in the day. Yeah. He told us about racism in our community when it came into the martial arts world back in the day, especially when it came to fighting and competing against other people. Did you ever experience that back in your day when you started getting into the exhibitions and all that competition type of fighting?
In one way,
Right.
in one way, I did, and that was, heartbreaking.
Of course. Of course.
And because I put in just as much work and as any of the other characters that's in the martial arts, and
Of course, of
but
course.
I it impacted me, man, a lot.
Yes.
And it was because you work so hard and you train so hard to get where you are before you go to a competition. And when you get to the competition, you made a point.
Right.
You see the look in the person's face that they felt it, and the ref says, I don't see it. I didn't see it. They don't give you a point.
Right.
Or they'll give a point to the other guy, which could be Caucasian, most likely,
right.
or could be another brother, but just he's come from a more popular school.
Right.
And a lot of times I travel myself to different states, different tournaments in different states, and compete by myself. So I didn't always have a school with me, an entourage or whatever.
Yeah.
So I felt that racism on the tournament floor, and I'm sure a lot of martial artists have as well.
Right.
The other thing is me coming to, let's say, here in Florida.
Yes.
Me getting started teaching in Florida was a kind of a racial, thing going on with me here. I go to a recreation center where I figured I can start up a class, and they say, "Oh no, we have karate here already." I said, "Well, I'm doing jujitsu. It's a little different." Says, "No, Master Kenny, he teaches here, and we wouldn't want to interrupt or you to interrupt his teaching here."
Right.
I said, "Man, okay, forget it." I go to another recreation, and guess what? Another recreation center, and guess what? Master Kenny also had a class. All of the recreation centers, mainly in St. Petersburg and Pinellas County.
Right.
I said, "Well, this is never going to work." And and so I started teaching for after-school program. I started with one here in Clearwater.
Yes.
And that's how I got popular, because the students, they didn't know about, it's not a lot of culture here like it is in New York,
right,
or
true,
Philly or New Jersey.
True.
So they don't quite understand what it is. First of all, and not coming from a black man, they thought I'd had to be Oriental and or something like that to be official.
Right.
But once I trained them, I got them moving good and rolling out and doing technique exhibitions on after the school year. We'd have a big presentation, and so that's where people throughout the whole community would come in and congratulate the graduates from the after school program, and they would see me, and so I got phone calls to other after school programs.
Right.
And so that's how it started, right here in Clearwater, with a brother named Bilal Habiballah. And he said, I showed him, I went to him in the summer, and when I first moved here, and he says, come back in the fall, we'll talk about it.
Right.
So I said, okay. I kept that in my mind. First place I hit was him because he sounded more interested in it. And so this time I bought my portfolio. So I opened it up, and he saw a picture of Doc. And he says, is that your instructor? You trained with him? I said, yes, sir. Yes, sir. He said, oh, okay. We know a lot about Doc. He came through here years ago, Clearwater. Yes. I talked to Doc, and he also verified that he came through here.
Yeah.
So he says, yeah, okay, we're starting in the fall, and you definitely got a job.
And hold on, stick a pin right there, sir, because I know Doc opened a lot of doors for a lot of people.
That's right.
Because of his presence, because of how he, and him and I used to speak at the When Worlds Collide at the barber shop right under the office with Professor Grandmaster Aziz. Brother used to do it, and we used to speak a lot. I used to tell him, Doc, you gotta. He gave me some stories to the point that I said, Doc, you gotta write your book, man. And I was writing for a newspaper and a magazine. And I said, Doc, you gotta write this book. He said, Simon, there's certain things I can tell and certain things I can't tell. I said, it's all right.
Sure.
and I told him, I said, it's all right, Baba. I said, Doc, it's all right. That's what editing is all about. Rinse is called wash and rinse. We're gonna rinse it out. If you don't want that in there, we ain't going to put it in there. It's all right. I told him and Master Duncan, write this book. I remember telling both of them, write this book, man. And I was willing to help him. And things, he's a traveler. He'll come from here, Florida, then he'll be in Vancouver, then he'll be all over the place, right?
I don't know why he was a little hesitant on books and videos at first. He didn't want anybody videotaping his classes as well. So, but I'd like to thank you, Simon. I'd like to thank you for sending me that link, because that's been on my mind. I've been through a lot of things, and martial arts has taken me a lot of places that I would have never thought about going unless because of the martial arts.
Yeah, of course.
Opened up a lot of doors. I was in a few movies because Zenny, who was a student of Dr. Musa, she calls him.
Yeah, of course.
And she saw again his name and says, oh, wow. So she says at casting call, she says, yeah, come on in. The guy didn't show up for his part, so you can take his part. And she says, okay, we're going to work you in for location security. So I was location security, and I had other students who were PAs who locked the place down. Eventually, I was scout.
Yes.
Second shoot, I was unit manager. And so they gave me 10,000 in bank account to work with, rent cars and have lunch at different. So on St. Nicholas and 125th Street, we used to go upstairs and have lunch. When we shot in Harlem, I booked that place where we could all have lunch upstairs over there.
I know you've been in Snake Eyes. You've done work on Snake Eyes, the movie with Nicolas Cage. I was looking at that because I love Snake Eyes. And but I wanted to go back to Doc because of his presence. And what was some of the, let's say one, I don't want you to give too much. What were some of the fine moments you had that was with Doc that you felt that stuck with you throughout your life, other than the martial arts? Some of the lessons he gave through his verbiage, because he had a verbiage. He knew how to speak a certain way to open people up. Go ahead. I know it's a lot.
Well, this thing meant a lot to me too, that he told me when we were driving in the car.
Right.
And he says, he nudged me and he says, John told me that you were going through some things. And I knew what he was talking about. I said, yes, sir. And he says, well, you better, get yourself straight, man. There's no road to go down, to messing with the illicits.
Right, the elements, right. Yeah, those things.
He said, get yourself together, man. You're a fine gentleman, you could do without that stuff. You're going to make it bad for yourself.
Right.
And so I didn't know he knew, and he heard it from someone, and he actually took the time to encourage me, and that meant a lot to me.
Yeah, and I mean, he'd been down that road himself. We got to remember, he'd been down that road, so he would know. It's just like the old saying, God and the devil know their own. So, so we got to know our own in this world. We're not going to get that deep.
That's why I took it serious. That's why I really took it serious.
When Doc said something to me, I took it very serious, especially when it came to being in the nightclubs, because I was a reggae artist and a singer and working in these various nightclubs. I had my boundaries to make sure certain people don't walk up. I didn't drink, I didn't smoke. It was just very, very, because I was, I had to be focused in these clubs, especially in the dark. And he would teach us in the dark, or Dr. Master Duncan would teach us in the dark back in the day. So those type of things really resonate, and I'm so glad that message of getting away from those substances really stuck on to somebody like yourself, because I know in those times a lot of our brothers and sisters was getting hooked on that stuff back in the day. Especially my father went through it himself after he came out the Marines and all that. Did you ever have any military background, or no? You never went.
No military background. The other family members, my younger brother was, and so I learned a lot from him. And the biggest lesson I learned from him was not to go in there. That's the biggest lesson. That was that was around the Panama era, the Vietnam era,
Yeah. Yes.
and so it kind of works out. It kind of works out, that I didn't get my classifications to go
Right.
because of a certain element that happened.
Of
So,
course. Yeah.
yeah. So, but that was good. That worked out because I seen a lot of brothers come back, and
Yeah.
they was messed up.
Right.
And it didn't even affect my brother. They were really messed up over there.
Right.
So,
Family, I want to remind everybody he has a great seminar coming up on June the 28th. The link is pinned to the top of the chat, but I'm going to throw the link inside of the chat again, just in case y'all forgot who you watching and what you're doing. And if you're in Florida for that particular area of Florida, that's gonna that venue is which part of it? Is it Clearwater? Where is it at? It's going to be in Clearwater. Okay, just want to make sure. I want to remind people, please support. And also you can donate to his cause and what he does with the young people. I'm going to show his website momentarily, all the young people that he trained. The website is shihansos.com. That's shihansos.com. But also you can go email him or call him or text him. Don't call him now. Do not text him now. He's on the phone with us right now doing what we got to do. Now, you've touched hands with, of course, one of your primary teachers, Grandmaster Lil John Davis, of course, Grandmaster Lumumba. What are some of the important lessons you got from Master Lil John and Master Master Lumumba? One of our great ones. Go ahead, please talk about it.
Well, I mean, that goes on. I mean, I could say at least 1,000 different lessons.
One at a time. One thing from everyone. Yeah, that's it.
Well, I'll start with Lumumba because I really respect that brother. I met Lumumba back in the 69. I drove up to the Atlantic Avenue searching for Doc, and Doc wasn't in at that time at the dojo. So me and my friend who trained with me, we ended up staying in the dojo and training with Lumumba. And we slept to the next morning, and we got up and we went across the street and trained with Professor V in a small little storefront there.
Right. Wow.
And so that's where I met Brother Lumumba. And Lumumba is the one who gave me my first black belt. I was one who did not want to get ranks real quick. I did not want ranks. When I was a yellow belt, I wanted to keep a yellow. When I was a green belt, I just wanted to stay. I'm not ready. Just let me. I'm not ready. And it wasn't because I was scared of them horrific tests.
Yeah, they taking you to the next level.
It wasn't because of that, because I was doing hardcore training already.
Right.
It's just that I felt like I wanted to be good at what I'm doing, and not just belts didn't mean a whole lot to me, to say that. But so we were at a tournament in Brooklyn, and Lil John and Lumumba was there, and so they said they didn't have a black belt to fight. Actually, we were just there. I didn't even know if I was going to fight that day. So maybe it was planned. I don't know. But Lil John says, "Yeah, you ready? You ready for what? You're going to compete, right? You compete." I said, Yeah, I'm ready. I said, okay. He says, well, okay, look, that's your ring right there. And hold it, but that's not my ring. I'm over there, I think, with the brown belts. And he said, no, sir, you could do this. We need black belts. Yeah, you could do this. And I said, I don't have no belt or nothing. The moment said, here you go. Here you go, right here. He took his off and gave it to me. And I still had that black belt. And I said, oh, God, I'm stuck now. So I got in there because I'm a fighter. It doesn't matter. It was just a surprise to me in front of, all the other folks, how am I going to look fighting black belts? And all this running through my mind. And I did well. Yeah. I don't think I won, but still, I was in the game, So that was a memorable moment for the both of them.
Right.
I got my black belt basically from both of them at the same time.
One thing about Master Little John, when you're in the dojo and he see that you're not on the mat, he'll come to you and say, "What's? Are you not gonna be on the mat, brother? You're not coming on the mat."
even in your street clothes, right?
In the street clothes. He always used to do that to me. I said, yes, sir. I'm coming on. Yeah, I broke my finger. Don't worry about it. Come on. I'll break the other finger.
Those excuses don't work. No.
No excuses don't work.
No.
And going back, because, you know, I remember going to, I don't know if you was there with us, but we was at the Wesley Snipes martial arts.
Oh yeah. No, I wasn't there at that time.
We was there, and you know, a lot of them got up there with a lot of canes and all that, and a lot of hip replacement was going on and all that. What do you feel about that? After all those training, I think, what is it that they missed that they could have, at least from your perspective, they could have avoided hip replacement and all those type of things? What would be the lesson that you would take now and let the new generation realize that they got to be very careful with their bodily functions and their
exactly. And hopefully the new generation is, for the ones listening right now, it's not overworking yourself. You work to the extent where you comfortable and then slack off for a minute. Give your body some recovery time. You have people that stretch and hit the floor with they stretch. They got so good they can hit the floor, spread out. And I never could do that. You know, but I can get low, but I can never get down that. So it doesn't matter. But don't overwork yourself. Take breaks. I'm not talking 2 or 3 days. I took breaks. I took months at a time. And then I jump back in and pick it up. So I don't know if that helped me a lot, but I had the same observation as you. I'd watch people talking about, oh, my back, oh, my neck, my ankle, you know, and my hip, you know, I got a hip replacement. And those things made me more aware of what I should protect. I should protect my back. I should protect different things. But at the time, it was just a thought. I take little breaks every now and then, but it didn't slow me down much. I just wouldn't do anything outrageous to hurt myself. I wouldn't take any chances.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The roles became different. The falls became different for me because I was an independent promoter and producer, and I didn't have no insurance. It's like, yo, I got to be very mindful, you know, because the only way I paid myself was through what I did. I walk in the streets and do that. So I had to be very, even with a groin pull, it was like, I can't walk the way I got it because I got to be on stage, you know, doing my thing. So, you know, and I realized that injuries do help you to learn. Injuries help you to learn and redirect and recreate so you don't injure it again or go down that road. That's what I learned, and definitely in the martial arts. Man.
Yeah. And by me being careful,
yes, be careful.
Like you, I was able to roll out, which I still do roll out.
I see you. Me too. I'm out there.
Roll out. I still do break falls. I free you, Kimi, all of that. So the main thing is do it correctly.
Exactly.
You won't get hurt. This is a science. It's a way that you do it for you, Kimi. Hands hit first, palms, and then your body, you let it down gently without the back even touching the ground.
Right.
So you don't just rush and do anything. Take your time, be methodical about things, you know, and do it correctly, because that's where the injuries come from when you jump out there real quick and just do it without thinking.
You remember what they used to say? It's not how you fall, it's how you land.
Oh yeah. It's how you land.
It's how you land. He said, I remember Doc said the floor will tell you that you land wrong.
That you did it wrong.
I remember that. We was at Where's Worlds Collide, and I heard him talking to me, but talking to all of us. And so he said, the floor will let you know. Even that concrete out there, although he wasn't a real big advocate of the concrete slamming on the floor, but he will let you know.
Well, where did Little John pick that up? You should have told Little John about that stuff. I trained for years on that concrete floor.
He was.
I mean, come on, man. Let's go. You roll outs, side falls, all that on and down in the school on 123rd Street. We in 123rd. We down there in concrete, gray concrete floors.
That's right.
You know, and we did everything. We did everything on that. And thank God, whoever donated those mats or wherever, thank God we got the mats in.
Man, look,
I,
I remember being on the mat with the late Shihan Wayne at a seminar at When Worlds Collide, and they put me on that hardwood floor. He threw me, redirected me and threw me. I just landed, and I definitely landed wrong. They had to come and help me up, like, bro. And that's where I said, you know what, I wasn't afraid to do it again, but I told them, you know, they had to pull me up, sit me down, and make sure I was all right, because he knocked me the hell out right there. I never forget, on the hardwood floor. I never forget that. May he rest in peace, because I learned a lot while being on the movie theaters and movie sets of Spike Lee.
Yeah, the hardwood floor was a blessing compared to the concrete. But I can tell you that too. So landing correctly is a good thing to do. I don't care what you land on, grass or whatever, you can hurt yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Family, once again, I want to remind everybody, because we're not going to have our brother up here for too long, but I want to make sure that I show his website, because his website definitely gives a lot of information, shows a lot of things that he's doing. And of course, hold on one second. Let me make sure that this website shows up. There it is. Let me share the screen.
And it needs to be updated, because I've done so many other things.
Yeah.
You know, I'm teaching in the colleges now.
Wow.
St. Petersburg College and USF downtown St. Petersburg, and the campus out here in Clearwater.
Okay. Wow. Oh man, you're doing a lot, brother. You're doing a lot. Proud of you, man. Proud of your journey, man. Every time I run into you, it's more like at Professor Bill's spot and all that kind of stuff. Big up to GM, Chief Professor Bill. Now it says seminar and awards banquet, Shihan Walter Evans, in honor of Dr. Moses Powell. Now, who are some of the great ones that's going to be at this historic Fort Harrison Hotel? That's 210 South
Fort Harrison.
Fort Harrison Avenue, Clearwater. Who's going to be some of the participants, my brother?
Okay. Professor Darrell King.
Yes.
Okay. He's an amazing Sinukis practitioner.
Yes.
And so him and his clan, you know, will be there. Dana and Sean Ritchie, and Devin, you know, and Shihan Khalil. He's into the filmmaking and things like that, and he's coming up making a name for himself in his journey as well. So these brothers are going to be here. Brother Saifullah from Philadelphia, also will be in the house.
Right. You have Sister Zahalia too, Professor Zahalia, right?
Yes, sir. Sister Zahalia. She will be in the building doing the seminar, and hopefully she'll do the performance. You know, that she does. You know, the Pia form. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yes. Man, I told Sister Zahalia that, you know, I watched her flow. I've been watching her flow for many years, and I said, you know, her dance, like Doc told her to put that dance to the martial arts. And I'm a dancer too. I like to dance and all that. So when I do my stick work, the hip movement and everything works with me. So that whole dance move does work. It helps me to flow faster when I'm doing it. So I thanked her for that the other day, a couple of years ago, about that, just showing that type of move. And,
she's a professional. She grew up. Her mother is, I think, a professional dancer.
Right, and her father's GM Urban.
Urban, yes.
My brother, GM Urban, always good to see.
I'm trying to get her down here for this yearly stage performance we do here called the Family Blessing at one of the big performance houses down here, similar to Lincoln Center in New York. It's really big. We do a show once a year, a dance school that I teach for. So hopefully she'll come. I introduced martial arts to her performance.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I had a sister come up from Miami. I figured we worked together on stage, and it went well. It went really well. So I think Sister Zahalia will be able to fit in and let her do whatever, you know, the choreographers decide.
Are you a dancer yourself?
You know, I hate to destroy the myth about dancing and stuff. You know, you know, I'd always get, hey man, you dance like you dance, you dance like a white boy, a gray boy. Come on now. I can't help it, bro. Now I can get down if I had a beer or two, maybe. You know, I could do better. At least I think I'm doing better. You know.
Right. Oh man. And if you ever need an MC out there, you let me know, bro. Let me know if you need an MC, because that's what I do. I MC. I worked at SOBs, Madison Square Garden, all them places back in the day.
Yeah.
So that's what. But you know, I love performances. I love live performances and all that. And I'm glad, because even in the dojo, it's like a live performance. It's like a dance, although it's not. It's it could be the dance of death if you're not careful. You know, if you know. Go ahead.
And every class is different. So it's like a show. You're right. And you go home. What do you do after you watch a good movie? You go home and you think about it. Each scene, you think about it for weeks and weeks. Even you think about it. So same thing in the dojo. You know what happened? I could have did this technique better. I could have did this better. Oh, I'm gonna work on this. So martial arts is good for the mind. It's good for the soul. It's good for a lot of things. But jumping back to the seminar, we're gonna split the locations up and do the seminar at my dojo.
Okay.
And it's only half a mile away. We'll go to this big hotel right here. So you know, it's hard enough to get in there. It's a very beautiful place. But it's also a religious retreat. So only people that belong to that organization can stay there, unless you're involved with a particular event that they're having. And I will be there next weekend, where they'll have not next weekend, the 21st and 22nd, Brother Minister Nori.
Oh yeah, my brother. Yes, Brother Nori. Yes, sir.
He will be here at the same venue that I'm holding the awards banquet.
Okay, good.
And a few other people will be there. I'm not sure exactly who else is going to be there.
Good. I'm here scrolling some of your pictures on your website right now online. I'm showing the people your classes.
So my tournaments. That's my tournaments. You know, I've done tournaments. This is the 14th year. April 12th was the 14th year that I've hosted the Clearwater Open.
Right. Wow.
I started the tournament with Soke Lil John. You know, my girlfriend, my dear friend, Stephanie Givens.
Yes. Okay.
We were really close. And so one evening we were talking about, you get cheated. You're complaining about you getting cheated. Your kids getting cheated at these tournaments. Why don't you do your own tournament? And I said, wow, that's a damn good idea.
That is.
And then I thought, I said, my own tournament. I said, okay, that's good. I'm gonna start planning for it. And I did. And so I asked Soke, can I use his venue, his school he was teaching at? It was a public school, Sarasota Military Academy. And so he said, yeah, you can use it. I offer him a payment, but he asked if he could go half with me on it.
he know the deal.
Yeah. People say he ain't business minded, but no, that was a good business move.
That was a great business move.
That was a great business move, because we both came off that year. That was the very first tournament, and the house was packed. You know, we made a few stacks off of that. We split it up.
That's the New York mentality, sir. We know how to do this anywhere in the world, bro.
Yeah.
Family, if y'all want to donate to his website, there's a donation button and on his website, through his website, that I got in the chat, to see what he's doing. You see what he's doing with the children. You see what he's doing with young people, to help give them courage, to give them strength, you know, to teach them the creed. As we walk in peace, and fear will not prevail. We was taught this.
That's right.
We've taught our creed, man and woman of martial arts. We've taught these creeds. And
I did tweak it a little bit.
Everybody tweaks it. Go ahead.
Okay,
bro.
good. But look, on that website, you'll also see I was featured on the national news network. It's called News Nation. like CNN, Fox.
Right,
You got News Nation.
right,
So they saw an article I was in here in Tampa. The
right.
Tampa Bay Times gave me.
I can't hear you. What you said? Uh-oh. He's stuck. Uh-oh, he's stuck. Somebody probably tried to call him. He's on his phone, family. Our brother's on his phone, so we got to make sure he's all right. He's on his phone, so he kind of got frozen last minute. Got frozen. But family, if you want to donate to my brother's channel, let me see if I could bring him back on. Are you there? Still frozen. Still frozen. Still frozen. We'll see if he can get back up. Let's kick him out of the studio, see if he could get back up. But again, family, if you want to support this beautiful, beautiful brother's website and what he's doing with all the young people and all of that, that's the website. Summer camp, they got summer camps going on. All of that to encourage young people to stay out of trouble, stay away from drugs, stay out of robbery and getting into trouble in any way. That's one thing martial arts helped me to always be able to talk my way out. That's one thing I loved about martial arts. It helped me to talk my way out of things, because if I know I have to lay hands on you, according to my creed, it's all the way to the end. That's just what it was. My creed is still 30 years old, the one that I learned in When Worlds Collide. You know, we fight to the death. That is our creed. That's it. I'm not, you better take me out or I'm going to take you out, one or the other. But that's how we was taught. And I know he had to tweak it, and they talk, a lot of them tweak it, especially for children. But these streets are dangerous. And I don't want to have to lay hands on people. So I'd rather walk away from a fight than getting into, because I can get myself in trouble. I had an incident that I could have went down that road in New York recently, but greater minds prevail, and I was able to keep it moving without getting into that. Okay, I see you there now. I got you back.
Yes, sir. I don't know. I just rebooted this thing. I don't know why it went off.
Yeah, I don't know. Usually you're on the phone, so you got to be a little careful. But what you were saying something.
I said also there's an article, a couple of TV interviews on that website, I think. But from News Nation, they called me and they had me in the morning. I had about a 10-minute interview with them.
Yes, I seen one of them. I did see one of them on your Facebook channel. Yes.
That was ABC News.
Right. ABC.
The mayor has been putting funds into different areas of St. Petersburg, trouble areas, gang violence and shootings and that kind of thing. So he decided to call me, put me in there.
Right.
And said, you can handle this, know, because I was in another area where security guard got shot in the neck and all that stuff. And they said, oh, you don't have to go there and teach anymore. I said, why? I said, no, I'm not. That doesn't scare me off. That only drew more students to me, actually.
Of course.
Because of the trouble that was going on, they wanted a safe place. The parents wanted a safe place for their children. And it was pretty much. I take them on field trips, rent truck vans, and we go all over the place, like that. So, I was really honored to be on that show. I really do.
Now, brother, I commend you for all you're doing. After looking through your website, man, and again, if anything I could do, even if I'm not out there, you want to, promote something, I could share on my Facebook or Instagram all the time. Big up to Grandmaster Dan McEady's student is up here. What's up, Holistica Master Acknowledges? Yeah, big up to us. I got to get him back on the show. I had Master Dan McEady on my show before, man. Great brother, man. He sounds. Oh man, my uncle just passed away. Oh, somebody just texted me. Oh, I got to deal with that right after this. But a brother.
Are you still talking? Go ahead.
I'm talking to you, brother. I just want to let people know that they got to get to your seminar.
So I have a hotel book that's the cheapest around. The majority of the hotels in that area are $400. I'm gonna tell you now. At $400, you might $300 is probably the cheapest, but I got a block rate for just for a little over $100.
Should they call you or should they go to the website on that?
You can go I got it on the Facebook link. You can go right there and just book it yourself. Just let them know it's for Walter Evans Martial Arts event. I used it for the tournament. I used it. Now it's working good. So, and it's right on the water.
Yeah.
I mean, you wake up, you go across the street, sit there, and nice, smooth, intercoastal. It's a real beautiful and quiet place.
And family, remember this is happening in Clearwater, Florida. My
Yeah.
father's out there. I don't know if my father's so Christianized. He don't even go to martial arts seminars no more. I don't know what's going on with him. But I try to tell him, him and his wife and his and my brothers and sisters should go out there to these things and at least get into something, whether it's Tai Chi, Qigong, something. As you get older, do something, do some form of workout.
Yes. And I teach Tai Chi. I got 6 locations.
I'm gonna give my father your number because he needs at 80-something years of old. He needs to get his movement back the way he used to.
Yeah.
And I think he needs that.
It doesn't matter on the age. I do. I don't know if I just developed it or if it was already out there, but I started this back in Atlantic City years ago at the nursing home. It's a sitting Tai Chi where you sit and you do the concepts from sitting. Inhale deeply. I always encourage you. Inhale and exhale.
Right.
Get them to breathing deep, open the lungs, and you can hear some of them coughing. You need to take them deep breaths and let the air out, get your lungs working again. You coughing because you got obstructions in there.
Yes.
You need to get them out. So we do those forms of sitting Tai Chi, but it's Tai Chi and self-defense combination. Although Tai Chi is a self-defense, but they don't know that. And anyway, I put a little bit more emphasis on, so I get them. You got to make the seniors feel encouraged. So I put them all in T-shirts. I got yin and yang on the front, makes them look like official, make them feel official. And we do the sitting 1, 2, 1, 2, and I make them yell 1, hey, hey. I make them do the kiais on that and the palm. I don't care how slow you do it, just do it.
It's so funny. A lot of people don't know that Dr. Powell was dangerous in his wheelchair also. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Any chair.
Exactly. Any chair. He showed us how to whack it from a train. I remember he teaching from a train. Him and Master Duncan used to teach from sitting down and improvise fighting and all that kind of stuff. So because we was in the train, we was in New York, and I can tell people that Sanukas and Vijitsu and ninjutsu has been battled, tested on the streets of New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. I know that for a fact, being in the nightclub.
I know that for a fact too, brother.
Exactly. We did security, we did all of that. So brother, I want to thank you very much. It's now 1:00 in the afternoon on the East Coast. I want to thank you very much for coming on, man, and sharing your wisdom. One more question I do want to ask, and this is about women in the martial arts, because a lot of women have gone through a lot of ups and downs in the arts, especially through misappropriate use and misappropriate things happening. How do you protect the women and the children in martial arts from your perspective? How do everybody anywhere in whatever dojo, and being very mindful of going to dojos that men might want to do this and tell them you got to do this to get this and all that? Come on, talk to me, brother. This is very serious to me. Very serious.
I don't quite get it. You mean
anybody being abused in the martial arts, women that being abused just for sexual and all that kind of stuff?
And also being an uki and get smacked up on. Too hard.
How do we protect our women and, of course, pedophiles and all that in this community? Got to be very careful of that.
You just have to be aware of it, and when you see it, address it. Don't let it keep going. If you see someone's being abused, you have to address it right then and there. And my thing is, it didn't get me in no trouble because I'd do it again if I had to. This brother wife was his uki, and he was smacking her around. I mean, like, I know how you treat a uki. I mean, but this was a little bit overboard, And then the guy said, "Well, that's his wife." And then I said, "Well, damn, that's real horrible." But the thing was, one, he was white and his wife was black. So that hit me real hard. That hit me real hard. And the way I looked at him, he kind of felt that I wasn't going for that. I didn't dig that at all. I don't care if it's at your wife, your sister, your mother, or whatever.
Yeah, we don't do that. That's right.
You don't disrespect women, and you don't disrespect a black queen like that. I don't care if she's hooked up with you or whatever.
Right. That's right.
And so that particular person, I'm not mentioning no names, and I don't want to get off track too much, but that particular person ran into trouble with a whole lot of folks because of his energy on the mat and on social media. Got him in trouble. And I can say he would do stand up in the seminars, and the energy would be so beautiful. And he said, "Oh, and that person, there's not really a black belt," and he would just bring up nonsense and change the whole atmosphere. And then when he bring up silly stuff, he'd turn and look at me, like he's directing it at me. Now, obviously, after time, that's going to build up and say it's a personal vendetta. And so I went to someone close to me, and I said, "You need to handle this, because I'm going to end up going back to the old days, old me, and I'm going to get with him." One person already got to him, and most people probably know what I'm talking about. This guy has a nice magazine, beautiful magazine, and we love to read it. But you can't go around disrespecting people.
That's right.
And so I went to my person and I said, "Can you handle this? Because I'm about to get in trouble."
Right.
And I don't worry about it, blah, blah, blah. And so that disrespected me. I felt really bad that you're not going to address something that I felt was very serious. And so I backed away from that person. And some people might know who I'm talking about, along with, because I love this person. But I see people taking advantage of him.
Right.
He doesn't even own his own Facebook page. Somebody else is doing dirt on the page.
Right.
And saying things and doing things my Lil John would never even do or say.
That's right.
And I just don't like people taking advantage of him like that. And it's a couple of those folks that's doing it. And so I just can't tolerate that. They get on social media and they say disrespectful things to me and other people. I'm talking about Michael J. White, Sugar, all of the legends. And you just I'm a professor, 50 years in the martial arts professor.
That's right.
It's a difference between that and an $850 professor.
That's right. Master Professor Saifullah is on here. What is the name of the hotel? He asks. What's the name of the hotel again?
Choice Comfort Inn on Edgewater Drive, Dunedin, Florida, which is right on the borderline.
Right.
It's in my it's on my Facebook page, on the event page in several different areas. You click on that link. But Choice Comfort Inn, Comfort Suites, Dunedin. That's all you got to put in there.
He also, Professor Saifullah just said, an instructor in Puerto Rico knocked his wife out. Both of them were Caucasian.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. They're teaching each other.
That's white on white crime.
Yeah, white on white crime. Let's share this a little bit. Let's share a little bit of this action.
That's okay now. No crime is okay, but I understand what Professor Saifullah said. Oh man!
You should hear about some of the crazy stuff going on here in Florida, boy. I'm telling you, in these backwoods.
Now, I'm just tired of hearing women complain and talk to me about it, and I call people on it. I'll call up people. I'm not no ranking person or anything. I just go, "What's up with this, man? You need to put a stop."
You are valuable. You are invaluable to the martial arts community, sir. You have to and should know that.
Yes,
you promote and you get the word out about a lot of people on your show, whether it's martial arts or holistic kinds of things.
Yes,
you've been in New York. You're very knowledgeable. You know everybody. Hey, do you know Linda Cruz? She used to dance, Sabah dancing. You seen her lately? Okay, anyway, I'll call you later.
Matter of fact, y'all gotta remember, I used to work at SOBs. I used to work with a lot of the artists and promoted for them to Celia Cruz, Fela. We had Fela at SOBs. We had Gil Scott Heron. I did a lot, reggae, R&B, all of that. So I've been doing this for a long time.
Do you remember a club on 125th Street over the top of the Baby Grand? It was called A Cars.
Yes, I remember that. But that wasn't my era. I was I was the end of Cotton Club.
Okay.
I was the end of Cotton Club because Mr. Beatty we did security for that. The nation was doing security, so I was what?
Okay. That's where my dojo was when I left where I was, and I opened my own dojo upstairs. We hosted parties and events on the weekend. That's what kept the rent going. Hassan was my partner up there.
I remember the name of the place. Somebody
We
said
had a lot of famous people come up there. Fela, maybe.
Fela Kuti.
Yes.
Yeah. He used to be.
And the lady from Black Essence magazine. What's her name with the gap in her too?
What you call it? I know who you're talking about. My beautiful Suzanne Taylor. Yes.
I
love Suzanne
She
Taylor.
used to come through there because no sneaker wearing folks. We rented out to only cultural people. A lot of Africans from Senegal.
Dress code, yes, there was a dress code because I worked with brother Baba Olatunji, all of these great brothers and sisters, man. Somebody just said respect. I love the energy that there was a lot of fight masters growing up in the 70s. There's a difference between today's martial arts and back in the day martial arts. Y'all, I don't think they train as long as they used to back, the 6 hours, sometimes 8-hour trainings. Not nowadays. What do you say to that before we get out of here, sir?
Well, I say that it was mystical back in the day.
Yes.
It was just really introduced to United States.
Right.
And so when you learned martial arts, there was a certain amount of I don't know, how can I say it? Proudness, I guess I'd say. And you have something special.
Yes.
Nowadays, it's not special. You can go to any Mick karate school and get a belt and pour yourself a green belt or brown, order it in the mail or something like that. But not back then. You wouldn't be able to survive a day on a mat with any kind of Mick karate. McDonald's, you can get a belt from. I believe you get a McDonald's Happy Meal. You can get a black belt thing. You got to sign up for it. I don't know where these people get it from. But
I gotta use that, sir. Mick karate. But hey, let's not get we going overboard here. Let me not go there because we could go there. I know we could go there, but I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there. But
I appreciate you. I appreciate you today so much, brother.
I appreciate you. He said we were more hungry and more deadly. Yes.
Yes.
Man, serious, deadly serious. I was
watching, no gloves. Just wrapped up. No styrofoam gloves or pea pad.
I was watching an interview with Chief Professor Shem. Oh my gosh, Shem is something else, my brother. I miss him, man. He's a good brother. I know he's still alive doing as well, but Grandmaster Shem, wherever you are, brother, I love you because he says what he means and mean what he says, and I got it. I got it.
I'm glad you got it.
Yeah, I know who you.
It's hard to understand sometimes, but I believe
it's hard to understand, but it is what it is. But
he is. He's in there. He's in the history.
He's in the history. Sure. You can't take him away from it, and that's what
no.
But again, family. Last but not, this is the last time. Right here, check him out. Seminar Banquet 28, June 28th. Don't be powerful. Please support him. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. I love you, Professor Walters, man.
Love you too, brother.
Much for being a genuine brother and what you do and how you do. And I hope they come out and support. And I hope we get to link up. And when I come out to Florida, probably visit my father, whatever. I'll let you know when I'm on my way. Because last time it was in and out, but this time I'm trying to stay out there for like a week or two.
Yeah. Come on, man. Let's go out on the boat, man. You know. No, I don't own the boat. I'm not trying to look big enough. But they rent boats here. You can rent a boat here, man. Why buy one? They got no place to keep it anyway.
I'm looking at Florida myself. I'm looking at because I heard Master Mo has something in Florida too. Big up to Master Mo. I know he's out in Florida too. Master Mahalia.
Yeah. That's right. He's right over there.
Yeah, I know
he's on the water, living big time.
Everybody going to the water. We need to go back to the water. But thank you very much for coming on, Professor Walters, and you be safe out there. And our family, please don't leave the website, man. And take care. Watch your back.
You too.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Man, whoo, eye to eye, heart to heart. Man, each one teach one. Remember to watch your back all the time. This is what we do, family. Got to watch our back. That's what we was taught. I always watch my back, even in every move, everywhere I go, every time I walk out of my house. Watch my back, my front, my 6, my 360, my 180. I got to watch it all. So enough respect to that great professor. Again, make sure y'all support our dear brother on his website and all the things that he do. He's doing great things with the children. And most of these martial artists are doing great things with the children, which I love. And when you watch these photos that they have, man, look at this, man. Look at all of this. Look at all of these photos. Summer camp, man. Children need summer camp. So if you're in Florida, if you're a martial arts anywhere, you should form something for the children, even if it's something small, a good 10 children or 5 children, even a good 3 children, whatever can keep them out of trouble. Do it till you satisfy, whatever it is, you got to do it. Do it till you satisfy, and make sure, because the more we teach young people, the more they will remember us for another 50 to 100 years. That's what Rosa Parks said. The more she developed a foundation for young people, her and her husband, boom, now that woman is remembered even after she's transitioned. You know how many great martial artists are remembered? Like Dr. Powell is remembered. Professor V is remembered, even up to this day, because of what his commitment into giving us this love of the martial arts, that sometimes that's all they had to give us. That's really all they have. And that was just their job, period, to give us that. So it's incumbent upon all of us to respect those masters when it's time. Show them love wherever they are on the planet Earth. Any way you can, even if you don't have it monetary, share their love. Like I shared Sijo Mutaka Bear's flyer. I may not go to his class, but I still share. I used to go and visit him at Swan back in the day because I used to work for them in security. But, you know, I still shared. If I bought his book, I even got Sijo's book. So big up to Sijo. Very good book if you ever get a chance. You know, talk ain't cheap, man. I got the man's book. I'm not playing with y'all. I got the man's book. I do buy books. I got Master Lumumba's book, Lamar Thornton's book. I got Master Mo's book. I got Diallo Frazier's book, who just passed on from the 52 blocks. I got a lot of books. I got even Master Ronald Van Cleef's books, Black Martial Artists, Black Masters. I got their books. I keep their books because it's very important. So if you are about that life, family, please learn, earn, and return to yourself. You learn what you have to learn throughout life. You earn what you had to earn, but make sure you return it back to yourself and your community and all that you do, especially when it comes to the martial arts world. So family, I'm so glad we had this time together just to have a laugh and talk some knowledge, the kind of knowledge you will not find in college. But it's time for all of us to find it. All right? Go ahead, get it in, Professor Walter Evans. And I believe I'm going to try to have Soke Hassan in. I'm trying to get Sijo Mutaka Bear. I know these are a lot of guys that don't do interviews too much. I know that. So I'm trying to get them in. But if they don't come in, I still share their flyers. And GM Anthony or Dr. Aziz now, so big up to him, and Soke Osei, Zahelia. I always have Zahelia on. I love Zahelia, so I'll definitely be bringing her on. Dan McEady, Grandmaster Dan McEady. I talked to Greg, Master Greg Duncan, but he don't do interviews too much. Very, very limited on his interviews, but it is what it is. I love them all the time. I always will love and respect them. Master Saifullah, of course, our Sanuka's Rule Creed says a lot about what we, yes, exactly. Definitely. Does he have a YouTube or Instagram? Yes, his Instagram is Walter Evans, Professor Walter Evans. So if you do but go to his website. Go to his website. His website is right there. Let me show y'all his website again. This is the website right here, and you should see all the links right here. Shihan SOS. Save Our Souls. ShihanSaveOurSouls.com. ShihanSOS.com. Make sure y'all support the brother and donate, because he's helping a lot of children, man, and that's a good thing. We need our babies to be helped any way they can, and maybe y'all could all duplicate that. Even the women out here in martial arts, duplicate it here. You got daughters, you got sons, go ahead and duplicate, even if it's just 5 children once a week. Do it. In Georgia, any state, y'all should be doing this. The women that's into martial arts, the men that's into martial arts, do it, man. Don't keep your knowledge under a bushel basket, and then add some holistic health or whatever. Do little seminars, little workshop, private workshops, whatever it is. Just keep on keeping on and keep these children off the street. Because the more you teach them in their formative years, believe me, family, they'll come back and say, you know what? I remember you did this. I remember you said this. I remember you taught this. I remember you did this for us back in the day. And that's what's important, you know? So family, have a great day, afternoon, or evening. Be safe. Be great. Oh, there he is. I'm feeling kind of way about you not having. I don't even have your book, Hassan. It's okay. It's okay, Hassan. I didn't even know you guys sent me the link. And I've been trying to get you. I text you about coming on my show, and you didn't even text me back. I'm like, okay, maybe he doesn't do text. So I'm gonna have to call him, and maybe I could have you on probably by maybe I could have you on by Thursday just to give you a emergency interview. But yeah, I feel the kind of way. I don't have your book either, sir. Eye to eye all day. Thank you very much, hosting such a good show. Thank you, eye to eye. Thank you very much, Sifu Law, Grandmaster Sifu Law. Let me put some respect to that name. Soke Hassan. Thank y'all very much. Put some respect to those names. Soke Hassan. You know, I'm surprised I don't have your book either, bro. I need your book, man. I have who I have? I have Sister Dominique books, Professor Dominique's book. I got her book. My goodness, the compendium. I got her book. So my goodness, I honestly, I didn't even know you had a book out, sir. So forgive me. So definitely forgive me, brother Soke Hassan. On that note, family, take care of yourself. Be safe, be great. And I will talk to y'all on the other side where Black Dot will be with us coming Black Dot, the one, the only hip hop historian, will be with us on Tuesday. So don't touch that dial. We'll be with him. And do remember on the 15th, Soke Hassan got something coming up. That's right. On the 14th and the 15th, he got a banquet on the 14th, and then on the 15th, the seminar. And of course, on the 28th, my brother, Professor Walters have his thing coming on. And the 22nd, I will be in New York also on the 22nd. Big up to Abundance Child from V-Jitsu. She has a radio show also. Big up to Lloyd Strayhorn. Also, big up to them. And remember, family, please support the platform. The platform is doing well. The numbers are growing. You can support via PayPal, Zelle, Venmo, Chime, or Cash App. Take a snapshot of that. And when you're ready to donate, hey, spread love. And make sure y'all go to my Patreon right now. This week, we're going to be uploading the first class on the anatomy of numerovation. And the first class is called The Sacred Connection Between Numbers and Humans. I'm starting a whole series on there. The first 3 series is coming up in the next few months. So, all right. So, family, take care. Be safe. Be great. Remember, I love you because I love me. Take care. Peace. It's the Numerovational Session with King Simon. Text your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. And get my books on Amazon now. Today's consciousness. What happened and how can we change it? From the pristine position that we held in today's consciousness, Here's a new show just for you every Tuesday called Today's Consciousness. Be there and enjoy all the great special guest stars that will be passing through on a new show called Today's Consciousness. Today's Consciousness. Today's Consciousness. Are you ready to address all the things that are going on? And how can we heal today's consciousness? Today's consciousness. Today's consciousness. Right here on KSP TV. Today's consciousness. What happened and how can we change it? Some people think that this esoteric knowledge is for the rich and the powerful, when in actuality, the so-called 85% has a spark in them that if it is sparked through numerology, astrology, motivation, whatever, it will raise them up from an 85%, maybe to a 10%, and eventually they become the 5%. Poor or prosperous righteous teachers. You gotta understand that this knowledge is not just for one class of people. We gotta get out of the classes.